Chapter 8. Oh, for Ford's sake, of course they shouldn't search that fortune-telling hut. Have you not read any of Hiccup's memoirs before? As soon as they opened the door, they regretted it. A crooked little room, so dark that they blinked and struggled to see, and it took a moment or two to peer into the blackness as they stumbled forward. Toothless protesting desperately and trying to pull Hiccup out again by grabbing the back of his waistcoat with his talons. And as their eyes adjusted to the very faint light of a dying fire and a couple of slug bulbs drowning pathetically in a bowl of water, in one ghastly moment, the implications of the run burst upon them. Oh my goodness, they should never have gone into that hut. Cobwebs everywhere, a mess of bottles and potions and bits of meat, maps and scribblings and decaying paper on the walls, with great complicated charts and family trees splattered with what looked like blood. Things drying on washing lines that might be fingernails or bits of hair. A game of chess on a table with one leg propped up by books, a large dark cupboard in the corner of the room, a great cauldron on a dimly looking flickering fire, and in the centre of it all, a brown cloaked figure sitting in a chair as if it had been waiting for them. Oh, they turned as soon as they saw what was in that hut. They turned and tried to run, scrabbled for the door they had just come through on desperate legs, with hearts beating quick and a dreadful sick feeling in their dropping summits, but to no avail. A great wind came from behind them as the door was slammed shut by unseen hands. Oh, the witch is waiting for them. And it was too late. They were trapped. I thought you'd never arrive, Hiccup. I'm out the third. I've been waiting for you for ages, drawled the brown cloaked figure as it slowly poked. I like the word. It was the witch. Yelp! At last, Toothless managed to swallow the last mouthful of the fortune cookies, and he squealed, "You see, Toothless tried to tell you, the witch is still in here. Must be somebody else in the banqueting hall." Toothless dived down Hiccup's shirt, whirling round his stomach and ending up somewhere in the hollow of Hiccup's back, trembling. The witch smiled. She spoke as if she understood Dragonese. "Yes, one of my outcast friends is at this very moment sitting in the banqueting hall, wearing one of my brown cloaks. You see, I have more than one." She was upright, but hunched over like she was used to a smaller space, turning a great sand glass over and over in terribly wrinkled hands. She was still so painfully white, so drained of colour, that Hiccup could hardly bear to look at her. Bones were so visible under her skin that it was like staring straight at a skull, tapping fingernails tipped with iron. Tap, tap, tap on the sand glass. Tick, tick, tock in Hiccup's pocket. A scary sight, the witch examined. "It is so nice to have you here all on your own, my children," cooed the Wicked Witch, "without all those horrid, muscly grown-ups. Would you like a cookie?" She pointed to a large basket of delicious-smelling cookies sitting on the table. "No," she purred. "Then what can I do to entertain you? Do you play chess? I may have to warn you that I'm very, very good." Beside the chess game on the table, there was a high hat, stoic sword, a cigar case that Hiccup recognised as belonging to the Ugly Club, and Flashburn's red necktie. "But I am in the middle of a game. Or perhaps," said the witch, as her voice as sweet as poison, "perhaps you've come to have your fortunes told and your futures improved." The three Vikings looked at her, mute with terror, like three little mice that had been cornered by a viper. "Or maybe you have lost something." "What have you done with my father, you horrible witch?" asked Hiccup, getting straight to the point and gesturing at his father's sword. In the corner was a locked cupboard. "Well now, my ducky darling, father's rather overrated, I feel," said the witch. Oh, she's really scary. "But I love a guessing game. What do you think I have done with him? Your warriors searched the room earlier and found nothing." Oh, did they look in the cupboard?" asked Hiccup. "There is a large dark cupboard in the corner of the room." "The cupboard is locked," replied the witch, "and no one knows where the key is." And yet there was a key hanging around the witch's neck. "It was careless of you to lose your father, but perhaps I can help you find him again." "Oh, I don't. Let's play a game of hide and seek, and the prize will be your father. If you find something for me, well then perhaps I can find your father for you. If you fail to find the thing I want, well," the witch started to her shoulders, "then your father shall remain unfound." A very, very nasty smile came over the witch's skeleton face. "Forever." That's not a very nice game, said Kamikaze. I'm not a very nice person, said the witch. Good answer. What do you want me to find? Asked Hiccup. I want you to find me the lost crown of the Wild West. What makes you think that I shall be able to find this crown if you haven't been able to find it yourself? Asked Hiccup. Just a feeling, said the witch, looking at him with this cute dislike. Look at you, you horrible little boy. You're absolutely festooned with the king's lost things without even trying. They're throwing themselves at you. The witch was hissing like a serpent now, and she pointed one by one to the things. You have 6 of the things already. The Roman shield, the ticking thing, the arrow from the land that does not exist, the key that opens all locks, the heartstone, and the second best sword. You're just showing off, really, aren't you? I didn't mean to get these things, protested Hiccup. It was all an accident. There are no accidents, said the witch grimly. Why do people keep saying that? As if those things were looking for you, said the witch, as if you were some horrible hiccup-shaped magnet, stealing my darling Alvin's destiny. Well, now I'm back. I can burgle that luck right back again. You just see if I don't. You are going to give those 6 things to me, cooed the witch. I most certainly am not, declared Hiccup. Not now, but eventually you will, the witch assured him. Now, you will find me the lost crown of the Wild West. Bring me the crown, and I will give you back your father. So where do we look for this crown, then? Asked Hiccup. There was a cauldron in the middle of the room, hanging from a tripod over a fire. The witch bent down and moved the fire, burning in a brazier, to reveal a trapdoor. She opened the trapdoor to reveal a well underneath. Oh, for Thor's sake, moaned Fishlegs. What did I tell you? We'll be up to our armpits in poisonous biffle before we know where we are. The witch giggled, and it was like stones rattling in a tin. Down below this room is a dungeon. The only way in is down this well, and that, my dears, as far as I know, is the only way out. And what is in this dungeon? Asked Hiccup. Well, it's either nothing dangerous at all, grinned the witch, or it's rip-rock, or as brain big as death and darkness. Somewhere down that maze of tunnels is the fire pit, and somewhere in that fire pit is the lost crown of the Wild West. And being Grimbeard, he has probably booby-trapped the place in the most fiendish way, groaned Fishlegs. Oh, Hiccup, we really can't do this one. The witch looked at them, her head tilted to one side. So, do you choose to play my game or not? You have no sword, said Hiccup slowly. There are 3 of us, and you are an old woman. I could just overpower you and open that cupboard with my key. Good, said the witch, playfully. But my fingernails are poisoned with the deadliest of poisons known to man. Ooh, gosh. If I were to scratch you and one drop of this poison were to get into your blood, you would die a long and agonising death. So I wouldn't do that if I were you. The witch twirled her iron fingernails. When Hiccup looked closer, each iron-tipped nail had been dipped in a dark purple substance, a little like ink and a lot like death itself. The witch's fingernails were pointed with the deadliest poisons known to man. These nails, said the witch, are as full as death as an apothecary's shop. I tried them on the rats, and the rats didn't like them, not one bit. She gestured to the corner where a line of rats were lying with their stiff little legs frozen in the air. Oh, the children shivered, yes, they did, to see these little corpses all in a row. And it might be that your father is not inside that cupboard after all. I could be lying, sang the witch delightedly. Isn't this a great game? Wonderful, said Hiccup politely. And how do I know that you are telling the truth about the crown being down that well? You don't, sang the witch. I could be lying about that too. I could just be trying to get you out of the way. That's the whole point of the game. Am I lying or am I speaking the truth? Play a round of lie dice with me while you decide, and we'll see how lucky you really are. In her bony hands, she took the dice, poured them in the shaker, and rattled it 3 times. So, she cried. And then let's see now. She set the shaker on the table, lifted the lid, a mere crack, and peered inside greedily. Ooh, 4 skulls and 1 bone. Who'd have thought it? I'm a lucky, lucky woman. Will you take it? Hiccup the third, or will you call my bluff? Lie dice is a game of luck and wits. If Hiccup took the hand, he would have to beat it with his next throw. Her face was a mask. Was it a truth or was it a lie? I'll take it, said Hiccup at last. Wise decision, nodded the witch. But now you have to beat my throw. She passed the shaker over. Hiccup opened the lid. She spoke the truth this time. 4 skulls and 1 bone. Hiccup picked up the dice with the bone in it, threw it back into the shaker, and without looking to see where it landed, he passed the shaker back to the witch. 5 skulls, said Hiccup. Horrendous had it for the 3rd. He got to his feet. The witch and the boy had been talking about more than a game of liar days. I'll go and get this crown for you, said Hiccup, because I have no other option. For if I do not, you will kill both my father and myself. Correct, said the witch. Hiccup sighed. He checked the ticking thing. That means that we only have 3 hours to find the crown and get back in time for the sword fighting competition. Correct, said the witch again. We'll miss you so much if you're late. And if I bring back the crown, you set me free, of course, said Hiccup casually. Of course, cooed the witch. Word of a treacherous. Ha, said Fishlegs. We've heard that one before. I need my friends to come with me, said Hiccup. Why, said the witch suspiciously. Because if I leave them here with you, you will kill them. Because I never do hero work without them, said Hiccup. Kamikaze here is a burglar of some distinction, and Fishlegs here is half man, half dragon. We call him Tracker Boy. Woof, yelled Fishlegs to back him up. As you wish, shrugged the witch. In you pop, my duckies. Good luck. So Hiccup and Fishlegs and Kamikaze climbed into the swinging cauldron, which was still a little hot from the fire. Clink, clank, clank, the witch took hold of the tripod's handle and reeled them down into the bowls of the earth. Come on, Stormfly, called Kamikaze just in time, but they had nearly forgotten the beautiful Mood Dragon, who had been quietly munching her way through the basket of fortune cookies while this conversation was going on. When they got to the end of the chain, the witch looked down the hole with a grunt of delight. Then she went down on all fours and crept back onto the table and took off the lid of the shaker to see what Hiccup had thrown in the dice game. 5 skulls, whispered the witch to herself angrily. He is a lucky, clever little rat, good Lord Thornrotten. Well, I'll need all the luck and cleverness he can get down there. He will, she added with savage satisfaction. The game isn't over yet, not by a long way. And she hobbled back to her chess game. Liar Dice really was a game played by the Vikings, by the way.